You know, he has a burst, competitive spirit. He came in, picked up the offense quick, and I think the opportunity to have the majority of the touches to carry the workload, he sees that opportunity, and he got the hot hand, and we rode him, and couldn't have been more impressed with what he did for us late in the season. Yeah, we've actually met with all three and love all three of those guys. All have a different skill set, but all super productive. I'm offensive coach, former quarterback, so I'm always looking for a fast outside guy. But we're going to do what's best for our organization, but those three guys are definitely in play. If he had his way, it definitely would. I mean, he's his biggest proponent, that's for sure. He would take him number one, hands down. But we like that. We like that Kyler's invested. You know, he thinks very highly of CD, and we do too. He's a great player, and we'll see how it all plays out. Yeah, we drafted three of those guys, Keyshawn, Andy, and Hakeem, and they had their moments and had some rookie moments as well. But we expect to see a big jump with the quarterback, year two, have an entire offseason in our offense. I expect all three of those guys to have a much bigger impact next season. I don't think so. I think he has enough speed. In college, he played inside, outside. It's more about just finding, a role that we like for him and sticking with it. We moved him around a lot last year, and I think it slowed his development a little bit, and we'll make sure that we do a better job this season with him. We are. We felt like David and Chase were doing a tremendous job before they got hurt. They both got banged up. It was unfortunate. And when Kenyan had his opportunity, he seized it and ran with it. But no, Chase and David, both tremendous backs, both have unique skill sets that we'll definitely be able to maximize. I don't have a feel for that, really. I mean, we'd obviously love to have him back. I think it's a perfect fit for our offense. I think he understands that, but I understand the business side of things as well. I mean, I think it'd be pretty special. You know, there's great synergy. You see how teams are building around their quarterbacks, like they did with Mahomes, Lamar, what we're trying to do with Kyler, and not trying to make the quarterback fit the system, but make the system fit the quarterback. And that could be an ideal situation with guys that have that type of synergy. Yeah, that's huge. I think that's what all 32 teams are always going to be looking for, is a guy that they feel like can take them all the way at that position, and that's what makes this league go. And so to feel like you have your guy definitely helps, and we just got to build around him. Yeah, I think just, consistency and being healthy. He's been banged up for 2 years, and I think just getting a feel for the game and running the ball. We know he's a tremendous receiver. Getting comfortable from our system, I think you'll see a completely different player if he can stay healthy. Yeah, tremendous young man. I was there for 6 weeks, and they raved about his character, the type of young man he is. So it's awesome to see the success he's had, knowing that he's that type of person. Yeah. I mean, both tremendous, very, very productive players. Anybody would be lucky to have those two guys. Regardless where you played them, Simmons has such versatility, and then Brown is a dominant player up front. So, love both those guys. Yeah, I love Terrence. One of the hardest workers. I was around there at Texas Tech, and has a unique story, tough-minded, kind of brought up in a militant upbringing, and so you know what you're getting. It's yes sir, no sir, gives you everything he can each and every day, and I'm excited to see where he ends up. Yeah, I mean, just enjoy the process. I mean, he's a tremendous coach. He's had success everywhere he's been. I'm a huge fan of his. We were close when we were in the Big 12, and I'm excited to see him get that opportunity, and he'll do a tremendous job. It's huge when you look at those two guys, MVP seasons. I mean, arguably the two of the top three offensive lines in the league, and that's what it's about. If a guy's back there and is comfortable and has time and has their type of skill set, they can do phenomenal things. Yeah, it was high stress watching it just because, it's kind of like a little brother type deal and you don't have any control. But just to see how that deal has all progressed and ended up, I couldn't be happier. I mean, Pat's a phenomenal person. Anybody that's been around him, as good a player as he is on the field, he's a better person off of it. And then just my dealings with Andy, he's been phenomenal to me and through that process. And they nailed it. They had targeted Pat, after his sophomore year when nobody even knew who he was. And so you got to tip their hat to their organization in Beach and happy to see. I just congratulated him. Like I said, I think he may win a few more of those with that young man as his quarterback. And I told him you won't be able to retire for about 15 years now because you don't want to give that kid up. There's a few things. I think definitely we'll handle the bye week differently. We played really poorly, that next week, and so that's one that jumps out. But I think you're always trying to evolve and improve your processes, and we're going to see after the new CBA what we have to adjust and try to get better. That's a great question. I just think whatever we did, we got to try something different. I've heard a bunch of different ways of doing it, talked to different coaches, and everybody has their own approach. I think having a young quarterback who hadn't taken a break from anything in a long time definitely didn't help, but we got to be better coming out of that next year. Yeah, very briefly, but once again, another young man who everybody there raves about, his work ethic, his toughness, the type of person he is, and then the film speaks for itself. He had over 100 catches, very productive player. I know Graham Harrell really well, and Mike Jinks, they're on their staff, and they love the kid. Go ahead. It's definitely motivating. There's no doubt to see, what Kyle has built there and staying consistent to his culture and who he wanted to be and just hanging with it through some tough quarterback injuries, being in their league, playing them, seeing what they have. It's definitely motivation for our organization. I think you just have a better feel for what it all is and what goes into it. And I think the biggest deal is our personnel department knows our systems now and what we're looking for exactly to fit into different pieces, and that should help. I do. Those are two of the best throwers I've ever seen is Patrick Mahomes and Kyler Murray, and so there's something to it. They can drop down from different angles, not lose touch, not lose accuracy or velocity, and so there's definitely something to that, throwing off different platforms that those baseball guys have that comes really natural to them. I think early on, just the ball security. He plays a style where you run like that and you move around. The ball can come out in different ways, but he protected the ball really well for the majority of the season. I think that was nice to see. I expect to make a big jump this season. The skill set's through the roof. We just have to work really hard to continue to get better. I think progression, comfort level in the pocket, in the system, week in, week out, really understanding what we're trying to accomplish. For the most part, I felt like he had a good feel, but I think it can really take a big leap going into year two. We'll see. There's some great ones in this draft. I mean, I think there's going to be up through round 4 some top guys that are still left, and so we're going to do our due diligence and make sure we are ready if one of those guys is there for us. Yeah, I think it was a work in progress. There's no doubt. I don't think we got to where we wanted to be completely offensively, but I do think having an entire offseason with our team, with the players understanding what we want to be, the tempo of things, and then year two of the quarterback, we'll be able to expand the playbook quite a bit this season. It improved as the season went on. I think the communication definitely got better. I want to make sure anything that's in the game plan he's good with and likes. And as the season went on, I felt like we came to a better place with that. Yeah, I hope this next season. I think in our offense traditionally, those quarterbacks that have gone from year one to year two have a much better feel. They play at a much higher level, and I'm expecting him to do the same. I hope so. Lower taxes and good weather help that as well. So we feel like we got some good things going. But no, anytime you have a young player you expect to be really good moving forward at that position, you have a Larry Fitzgerald, a Patrick Peterson, a Chandler Jones, great leadership in that locker room. That should be appealing to some veteran free agents, and I hope it is. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I think it's case by case basis. I think everybody handles it different. Everybody's situation is different, and it's going to be a work in progress no matter what. Whether you've been a head coach in the NFL or you've been an assistant in the NFL or you haven't, it's definitely going to be a work in progress, and you're going to have your ups and downs, and just have to make sure you learn from it. What's that? Uh, you know, I think just you don't know what you don't know. I mean, 16 games is a long time. Dealing with professionals each and every day, and their needs and wants is different than college players. And so I think just learning on the go is always tough, but you adjust and try to do the best job you can. Yeah, I think the way Justin Murray played definitely took some pressure off of that. Played, I think, started 15 games, played in 16, and we really felt like did a great job as the season went on. We think he'll continue to get better, but we're going to look at all our options. But he definitely took some ease off of that pressure, I think. We'd like to have him back. I mean, he came in, and I talked about it earlier, just he sees his opportunity to be the guy. That's what he wanted, to have the majority of the carries and be the guy, and he took it and ran with it. And he's got a unique skill set that we think fits our system, so we'd love to have him back, but we'll see where that goes. Yeah, I think just play call wise, more of it goes to that side of the field, but that was really it. I didn't have any extreme adjustments. I felt like we're going on, but a right-handed quarterback for the majority wants to push it to the right, and lefties want to go to the left. Yeah, I think they all play baseball. That's my only take, because you don't see many, but I don't think it has a major effect on the position.